just going to stop sharing if Tracy needs to share something.
I don't. So I'm just going to go through, first of all, questions that I've been given regularly when I go out to clubs to go through pathways, educationals, and then we can open up the floor. So the first one is, I get a question, how do I choose my path? How do I know what is going to be for me? So the first thing that I'd like to highlight is, once you have gone into Basecamp and selected a path, you only have 30 days with which to change it. If you decide after that 30 days that you want to change your path, you have to pay for another path. So do bear in mind, it is important that you think about the path that you want. So what are your goals? My suggestion is, on the D73 website, under the Pathways tab, there are all the paths and associated information. My suggestion would be, do your homework, review all paths to work out what's my goal and then what path is going to meet that goal. Therefore, you're making an informed decision, and then you don't get to a point that you're in a path you're not enjoying and then have to pay for another one. So that's a suggestion. Think about it beforehand. So any new members in your club, maybe suggest to them do their homework beforehand. The second question I get a lot is Pathways, Easy Speak, Free Toast Host all connected? Because I'm confused about what I should be loading it in. This also becomes a induction thing for a new member, to make sure that you clarify the differences between going into Toastmasters International, going into Pathways Basecamp, and whatever your agenda system is, either Easy Speak, Free Toast Host, making sure that there's clarity about what the differences are between those, because unfortunately there is not yet a full interaction with those. And I know that when I was a pathway guide and we had regular meetings with Toastmasters International, they were aware that this was something that was desired, but it's not necessarily a high priority that everything is interrelated, where I can connect into Basecamp and it feeds to any of the other systems. I don't know if that's ever going to be on their radar. So it's important that members understand the differences between them. The third question that I get commonly asked is, oh my God, I finished my level and I just can't move to the next one. I've done everything. So I ask, have you finished your questionnaire? As Kaji had already highlighted, there's some tricks about finishing off when you finish a level in your path, making sure that you have answered every question, because seeing that congratulations at the end can be deceiving. My simple trick is, do you have a tick on the path level? If you don't have a tick, you have missed something. That's your simplest thing to look for. The second would be, if you're doing an elective, which comes in level 3, the electives don't give you a tick, but they give you a percentage completed. And because often it's 2 electives, you need to see the 100%. So if you see the 100%, you know that you've completed that level of the path. The fourth one is, I finished my path and I received notification that my award's been recognised, but I still can't move on. Kaji also highlighted that one when it comes to, and also Amit, when it comes to the VPE, president or secretary, whoever your Basecamp manager is actioning for your club, they may have gone into Club Central and recognised, but they may not have necessarily gone into Basecamp and checked off the pending request. So you've got to remember there are 2 steps. So maybe go back and speak to your VPE, whoever actions your Basecamp level requests, to make sure that they have progressed both aspects. Now we talked about the emails before, and another one that I got was about the VPE saying that they weren't getting the emails. And it's already been highlighted that, and I don't know if this is going to change, but unfortunately Basecamp uses the contact email. And most clubs like their contact email to be the VPM. This becomes a challenge because it's also the same one that's used for the notification of anybody who's progressing an educational award in Basecamp. So what I did for a couple of clubs is we actually created a new email ID. So everyone knew that it could be either for a contact or it could be for Basecamp, and it was the content that drove the action, but it went to everyone in the executive. And that has certainly helped with a corporate club that I'm a club coach for, because it means that no one misses the email. And they all know that if an executive is away, then there is a next in line who's already agreed to take the action. So that way we never have anybody missing one of those email alerts, and it doesn't impact the contacts either. So that's a suggestion as well. And let me see. And the final one that hasn't been covered is I can't see the member. And I know that they've finished an educational, and our club likes to recognise them with a certificate. Well, this is a challenge when you have a member who's in more than one club, because you can only see members who list as their home club your club. And so I know I'm in a multiple club, and I have had lots of times been contacted because I haven't set that club they're wanting to create an action for me as my home club. So all you need to do, contact the member, ask them if they could go into Basecamp, change it so your club becomes their home club, and then you can see them, and then you can action the request. So those are the ones that I have that I don't believe have already been covered. And I know that we're over time, so I don't know whether or not anyone has any other questions that they're burning to get a response on.
All right, let's find out, Tracy. But that was really good. I've summarised that for us in the chat there. But I especially like that last one, because there are some amongst us who are in multiple clubs. And I didn't really get a chance to introduce Tracy Green in the right manner, because Tracy is a member of several clubs. So when her VPE is looking for her completions, Tracy needs to be in that club in Basecamp. All right, any other questions across the floor?
I had a question, Carol.
Yes, Amit.
So I just submitted the level 2 award completion on Submit Education Awards under Club Central. Now, I just want to know how much time it would take before that reflects in the DCP report.
You want instant gratification. Well, no. Well, I don't know. What would you say, Tracy? About 24 hours at the best?
It's at least 24 hours.
Yes, it is.
Because you've got to remember that America is behind us in time. So what are we? We're a Saturday night, so yeah.
Yeah, and other things too. That's a different topic.
It's not cutting the mustard for Amit. He wants that tip now.
Oh yeah, sorry. But you will have it recognised by the day that you've requested it. So it will be within this year.
I just want to highlight one point regarding this, that on a normal month, till the end of the month, it will be approximately 24 hours. Then we enter what we call the dead zone, which is your month closing, which VPAD should be aware of, because from 1st to 6th or 7th, depending on the month, whatever awards that you submit, they will not be reflected in your DCP till the month closing. So that dead zone is something we should be aware of.
Yes.
Yes, be afraid, be very afraid. Do not enter the dead zone.
As long as it comes up before Monday night, I'm happy, because that's our changeover dinner.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Indeed, Ahmed. That is a wonderful way to do that. All right, any other questions for Debbie?
Well, it's not so much a question, but we were discussing the e-transcript before. I save all of mine into the transcript. Would anyone like to see what it looks like online?
Wow.
And I am in multiple clubs if I share it.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's be mind-boggled by what Debbie's about to share.
Oh.
That's extraordinary.
And I'm curious to see if you're as organised as me. I imagine you are. You create folders for every path.
Okay.
Doesn't everybody?
Okay. So you can see my transcript, is that correct? You can see my Basecamp, my lovely smiley face.
Yes, you can.
So I'll go up here to my e-portfolio. And as you can see under the documents, it's got 7. So I've loaded 7 documents in there, and they're all living in level 1. And Kath, and I'm sure Tracy, yes, MS stands for Motivational Strategies, level 1, my first speech, the title and the date I did it, etc., etc. Whether it was the icebreaker, the evaluate the evaluator. So I know I've got all of my effective coaching there and the majority of it. So that's how I categorise them, which is a standard.
Interesting, Debbie. I'll ask you a question. Did you have to think carefully about the length of the title for each of those documents?
There is a maximum that you can have, yes. So it was just a matter of if there were some smaller letters or if it was just A or the or whatever, just dropping some of the general ones if that's the case.
Great.
And I had thought about just dropping it back to, you know, IB for icebreaker if necessary. So, yeah.
Yes, basically this is for you.
Yes.
Yes.
I can quickly email them that if I need to, yeah.
Yeah. I don't do it in my portfolio. I keep all of that in my folder system on my computer. And now I've begun to do that in my Google Drive as well, because often when I'm presenting somewhere else, using another computer, I might need to access it that way.
And the good part is that if you were with your VPE and they do want to look at something at the club meeting and you've got it there, ta-da, there it is.
Yep.
As well. So
yeah, so look, we've covered such a lot of ground here. Thank you so much for sharing, Debbie. So we've had lots of frequently asked questions for pathways. We have covered Club Central most effectively, and we have had a close look at the tips and tricks for